That's one reaction from Turkey to President Trump's controversial new plan for Gaza, where a ceasefire still holds with Hamas, which calls the idea a recipe for chaos.
Gaza is a hellhole right now. It was before the bombing started, frankly. And we're going to give people a chance to live in a beautiful community that's safe and secure.
The president wants the U.S. to take over and own Gaza, demolishing all the war destruction to develop it into like a Riviera for the Middle East. As for the Palestinians displaced,
Gaza's been very unlucky for them.
He wants Palestinian refugees to go to Jordan, Egypt, or other countries. Now, the president proposed it in talks with Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu.
You are the greatest friend Israel has ever had in the White House.
Now, other world leaders oppose the plan, still calling for a Palestinian state. Now, the Trump shakeup continues at the U.S. Agency for International Development. After Elon Musk and his Department of Government Efficiency moved to shut down USAID, calling it beyond repair, the State Department's in control now, and as Republicans call for big reforms with the agency, Fox's Lucas Tomlinson reads an email that went out last night.
On Friday, February 7th, just before the stroke of midnight, all USAID direct hire personnel will be placed on administrative leave globally, with the exception of designated personnel responsible for mission-critical functions.
After the U.S. put new tariffs on Chinese imports this week, the Postal Service is no longer accepting packages shipped from China and Hong Kong. The manhunt continues near Columbus, Ohio, for a killer who went on a shooting spree at his warehouse workplace late last night. The New Albany's Mayor Sloan Spalding just said,
"We want to reassure our residents that we have multiple agencies working right now to apprehend the suspect."
One person was killed at the cosmetics plant, 5 others hospitalized. The U.S. is getting a new attorney general today after this Senate vote last night.
On this vote, the yeas are 54, the nays are 46. The nomination is confirmed.
One Senate Democrat, John Fetterman, joined Republicans confirming Pam Bondi. America's listening to Fox News.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now save 50% on the new Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Plus free home delivery when you add a base. Ends Monday. Exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go. Shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
We mentioned the Senate confirming Pam Bondi to be Attorney General. That came hours after Doug Collins was approved as Veterans Affairs Secretary, and 2 more controversial Trump cabinet picks advanced out of committee without any Democratic support.
Health and Human Services nominee RFK Jr. got out of the Senate Finance Committee, with Louisiana Republican Senator Bill Cassidy's vote for him after extracting some promises.
Aside from he and I meeting regularly, he will come before the Help Committee on a quarterly basis if requested. He committed that the Help Committee chair, whether it's me or someone else, may choose a representative on any board or commission formed to review vaccine safety.
Director of National Intelligence nominee Tulsi Gabbard was voted out of the Senate Intel Committee. The Senate Judiciary Committee will vote on Kash Patel's nomination for FBI Director Thursday morning. Jessica Rosenthal, Fox News.
President Trump plans another controversial transgender executive order today that aims to prevent athletes who are born male from competing in girls' or women's sports. They have found all the bodies now in the Potomac River, and crews have removed more of the wreckage of the plane that just before landing at Reagan National Airport last week collided in midair with a military helicopter.
The National Transportation Safety Board says the Army Black Hawk helicopter was flying too high when it crashed into an American Airlines jet near Ronald Reagan Washington National Airport last week, killing everyone on board both aircraft. And that data from air traffic control radar showed the military chopper was flying at 300 feet on the air traffic control display. That's 100 feet above the maximum altitude for helicopters in the area. Data is rounded to the nearest 100 feet, so officials will need additional information to verify data points from the Black Hawk, which is slated to be recovered from the Potomac this week. Officials say all 67 victims in the collision have now been recovered. Lillian Wu, Fox News.
On Wall Street, stock futures are falling before today's trading. I'm Dave Anthony. This is Fox News.
Here's a look at local news. Well, outgoing University of Illinois Chancellor Robert Jones taking a new job. University of Washington Board of Regents announced Jones will be the next president of the University of Washington. He will become the UW's 34th president and the first African-American to serve in that role. Jury deliberations resuming in Michael Madigan's landmark corruption trial. Jurors have been deliberating more than 21 hours since last week. They're considering nearly 24 counts against the former Illinois House Speaker. Co-defendant Michael McLean is charged in 6 of those counts. 1099-G tax forms available for claimants in Illinois who received unemployment insurance benefits last year. The Department of Employment and Security says claimants who collected UI benefits last year will need the 1099-G tax form to complete their state and federal tax returns. It includes claimants who received regular UI benefits or benefits under any of the expired federal pandemic relief programs. You're locally up to date from the Stevie J Broadcasting Newsroom. I'm Jim Miller.
All right, thank you, Jim. Good morning, Wednesday. Good morning, Diane.
Hi.
Good morning, Greg Solier, our meteorologist. Nice to have you back.
Good morning, Mr. J and Madam Diane.
All right, so last night, Jacob, my son-in-law Jacob and I are both making steaks.
Oh, nice.
Okay, so we got him on the lot.
This is the baseball player, right?
Yes, the baseball player who leaves tomorrow.
Yes, he reports pretty soon, doesn't he?
Leaves tomorrow, leaves for Phoenix Monday, and then shows up Tuesday morning in Goodyear, Arizona for spring training for the Cincinnati Reds.
Okay. Sorry. I was just asking. I'm wondering when his season got going. That's
He's
all.
Worked really hard. He's healthy. He's good to go. So we're excited for the potential here, what might happen. So so we're making steaks and we're rubbing them down with nice oil and salt and pepper, the whole thing, and letting them rest. And the whole thing really. So we have a Lodge. It's that steel pan you use when you want to get serious about something on the stove. So we're putting it in the Lodge. It's called a Lodge. It's a big, heavy, like a Boy Scout skillet kind of thing.
I know. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So called a Lodge. So anyway, we have them on there, and his are going fine. He's doing a medium rare and then a kind of a medium. That's good. So I'm next. So I put mine on. I have a few more steaks, so we have a few leftovers. Mm-hmm. And so it gets a little smoky.
Uh-oh. Oh no.
Yeah. So the
alarms and all that needed.
The entire home. Is engulfed in noise. Every alarm we have is going off.
Oh, wow.
So,
Who showed up, by the way?
Well, I don't think I got the fire wired to the fire station. We have the alarm for somebody coming in.
Yeah.
Monitor, but I'm not sure fire. So what do? You open all the doors.
Windows.
Yeah, doors, windows, everything.
Yeah.
And it's going and it's not stopping.
Uh-oh.
And there is something I learned last night. You can't stop them. You can't take the battery out. You can't do anything. They're just going to go till they're done. So you have to clear the air as best you can.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So Station 6 near the YMCA Fire Department, I call them. Cody answers. Very nice. Says, hey, open doors. I did that. Okay, try it again. Call me back in 5 minutes. So friendly.
Good.
So then I call back in 5 minutes because it's 25 minutes is still going.
Oh.
I mean, there's nothing. There's nothing showing. The whole place is freezing and it's clear.
Oh.
So Station 6 sends Chris Fowler, Cody Flowers, and Eddie Shellman to my house.
Okay. Lights and siren and all that?
Well, I said non-emergency, please. So it was non-emergency. Just anyway, the thing shuts down, off, and it's gone right when they're walking up. So they come in. They said, "Do you want to buy the steak?"
I was going to say, you offer them a meal?
I should have, but they were so gracious, so kind. When I called them, just said, hey, it's not an emergency, but how good are firefighters?
Absolutely.
How good are all our first responders?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But Chris Fowler, Cody Flowers, Eddie Shellman, thank you for coming and just checking up on us. But the house smelled great. But just FYI, if you find the alarm that is triggered, it'll be a red light going on it. If you take the little air blower that we use for computers to get the dust out, that might stop everything. But you got to find the one that it was triggered.
I see.
So I learned a lot from my firefighters last night.
Okay, good.
And appreciate Station 6.
Well, and Champaign Benevolent firefighters having their Blazing Pianos fundraiser over at City Center on February 21st.
Well, we hope they raise a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well,
That's a great segue.
Thank you. And February 5th, by the way.
Steaks, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Were your steaks great?
Yeah, steaks sure.
Mm-hmm.
Well, take it back. They were cold, and we really didn't have a meal. because it was
too much rigmarole getting the stuff turned off.
Janet took the little doggies in the car because they was driving them
cold.
So it was also just driving them crazy because it was the sound, and so I kept feeding her bites of steak in the car.
I see.
So that was kind of our steak dinner. But you know what? It was great. We learned something.
I was going to say, yeah.
And
February 5th is National Weather Person's Day, Greg.
Well, that's
is it today?
Happy National Diane.
That's right. I thought it was somewhere around there, just beyond Groundhog Day. So
Thanks,
Diane.
No one better in radio than interjecting other things into a pertinent conversation. Diane Ducey. All right, so I was expecting a little freezing rain. Is that still on the radar today?
Yeah, well, and that's kind of going to be like the problem. That's a very good point because it's this very light, low-level moisture stuff is not anything of a great rush and run off the Gulf. So it may be just that kind of a misty, freezing drizzle, freezing mist that may get going, and probably will get going as the morning progresses into the afternoon. Then we'll begin to get some radar returns. This is going to be a very shallow layer of moisture that gets going in these sub-freezing temperatures, and the air is dry too, like we've talked about. It's a shallow cold air intrusion, like we have mentioned the past few days. We got to get deeper into the cold air, northerly branch to the jet stream pattern, and then we'll see this transition to A, much colder air, and B, more snow type events, which are on the maps and charts for next week. But in the meantime, it's this, so watch your step, the tires to the pavement, the hoofs as well out there will get icy as the day wears on. We'll struggle on temperatures of this dry air to about 32 to 35. That's not till evening time on gusty east winds and some rain, maybe some freezing rain still this evening. A clap of thunder can't be ruled out. It's still warm above about 3,000 or 4,000 feet relative to the atmosphere. Temperatures will rise through the night. And then better tomorrow. Sun comes out 45 degrees across the area on a gusty westerly wind. More rain back in here and probably a freezing rain to start episode late Friday night at 38. Rainy Saturday, some of that freezing in the morning up to 42. 30s on Sunday, barely to 32 on Monday with a few snowflakes and highs around 30. And a snow system to stay heads up for late Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. So pay heed to that winter weather advisory for today in through early tonight. For Stevie J Broadcasting, I'm Dorchus, Greg Soldier.
All right, thank you, buddy. So it's one of those, gosh, when it starts, we got to be real careful because it's going to be kind of icy.
Yeah.
So make plans, whatever you got this afternoon. Think about it. Hey, good morning. I am Stevie J. There's Diane Ducey.
Hello.
Got to play at the Rack tonight. Illinois plays Rutgers at 7:30. We're a 6.5-point favorite. Now, this is like playing at the Rocket Center. They are on top of you. They are screaming at you, cussing at you, berating you. I don't have proof they cuss.
Right.
But certainly berating. So
okay.
Jeremy Warner of Illini Inquirer asked Brad yesterday, why is... Where do they play again? What's the town?
The Rack? Oh, Piscataway.
Piscataway, New Jersey, home of the Rutgers. What are they?
Is it the Red Scarlet Knights or something?
Rutgers Scarlet Knights play
Does that
basketball.
sound right?
They got 2 NBA players. They had 2 kids that are projected higher than Kasparis Jakub. They got 2 players like that.
Oh, wow.
So they're not. It's just, why can't it be easy? Why can't we just go and say, gosh, they played well, we beat them by 40?
We're
that
gearing
kind of
up for March Madness.
Yeah, all right.
It's good.
So Jeremy Warner asked Brad, why is the Rack so hard?
70-some plus sellouts. They're right on top of you. They are extremely loud and vocal. And, it's just we play in a lot of really big arenas, and this is more compact and tighter, and it's hot. It's it's just got an incredible vibe. I love going there. I love getting cussed at, things told how bad I look, and it's awesome. So it's just everything that's fun about basketball. It's a great environment, and Coach Michael's done a great job of creating that atmosphere.
Okay, so I guess he does get cussed at.
There you go.
And then how bad you look. Yeah. And I just love it. That's a boy. That's what you say. Bring it. Yeah, that's fine. Hey, how you doing? Yeah, like, oh, that's funny.
That's
right. That's so funny what you just said.
Uh-huh.
Very creative. Okay. I never knew those 2 words went together. Wow. So you got that going on. So Illinois 6.5-point favorite tonight. And we're all playing Thomas Isevich. He also talked to some reporters.
Coach Underwood was talking about you were sleeping 16 hours a day. Just what was kind of like this process, sleeping all the time, just trying to get back into shape?
That was the only thing I could do: eat and sleep, recover faster, and that was it. If I could do something else, I would.
How do you feel now?
I feel now normal. Condition-wise, I'm 90%, but everything else my body feels normal. I lost some weight, but now I'm back. Fletch did an amazing job with me there, and he was there with me every day, all day, watching what I eat, forcing me to hydrate, just take care of my body to recover faster, and now I feel normal.
Everybody's heard of Fletch, right?
That's right.
He's a trainer, and I don't know his name.
I don't know his. I was just going to say
Fletcher.
that.
I think his last name's Fletcher.
Okay.
Right? But he's huge. He's like 6'7", beard, bald. You see him on the sideline. But he was with him every minute.
That's awesome.
What is his schedule? When does he go in? Because remember, Terrence Shannon was going in at 5 a.m. Did he go in at 5 a.m.?
Right.
I think some student managers probably did. But
Right.
he's working the hyperbolic all day. He's working the nutrition all day and all these drinks. It would not be bad to hang out there, take a nap in the hyperbolic chamber, have a smoothie when you wake up.
I like that idea.
I would probably feel better. Anyway, Fletch is a pretty key part of this program. It is apparent. And then what he does to get them going. He said, Tomislav said later in that interview that if it wasn't for Fletch, he'd still be out. He said, I'm here 2 weeks early because of him.
Wow. Man, that was quite a bug. Mono, right?
Yeah, mono, and it was dragging before USC, so it's been going on. But he said, I'm 90%. Here we go tonight. It's 7:30, Illinois-Rutgers. That's the big sports headline.
Yes, in Piscataway, New Jersey. What, it's 7:30 tip-off?
Yeah, 7:30. I think it's a Big Ten network. So
sounds good.
Not any of that Peacock we're all mumbling about. So we have it, but you're just going to have to get it because more games. There were 3 Big Ten games on Peacock last night.
It is the Scarlet Knights. It finally came up.
Good job.
And yeah, it looks like they have some key players that were just mentioned. So this could be an interesting contest for us. Go Illini.
We generally don't play well out there either.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just talk the Illini down so we go the other way. Come on.
That's right. That's right. Kaspar Shakachonis, by the way, a nominee for the Jerry West Shooting Guard of the Year Award, which is awesome. Kendall Bostic also getting some nods this week. And let's see, I think the Illini women are in action against Northwestern as we host them tomorrow at 6 o'clock.
Oh, you just got to be careful of a letdown because you come off the Maryland win. Northwestern's 0-9 in the big. Play well.
Okay.
And I bet you Shauna has them playing pretty darn well, and I bet you we'll have a pretty good crowd. So.
Last night in the Big Ten, number 7 Purdue over Iowa, 90-81. UCLA took down Michigan State, 63-61. Michigan State's like number 9.
Yeah, but now all that means is Purdue's going to be favored to win the Big Ten again.
I see.
Whatever.
Okay,
Purdue.
Wisconsin over Indiana. Hoosiers just, man.
A tough year. Going to be hard for him to keep
Minnesota over Penn State and Northwestern over USC.
Weather brought to you by Busey for over 155 years. Busey. Member FDIC, Fox Business coming up after Greg.
Hello again, everyone. Let's check weather for East Central Illinois, Champaign, and Van Saturday. Busy weather pattern shaping up for openers over the next 5 to 10 days, including freezing rain issues and a winter weather advisory for the day-to-day. Some freezing mist and freezing drizzle will get going as the morning wears on. Some freezing rain and rain this afternoon. 32 to 35 on temperatures. Gusty east winds will diminish and turn southwest later tonight, with, again, some rain at times in the overnight. Maybe a thunderstorm and some mixed freezing rain as well in spots this evening. 32 to 35 and rising temperatures to a partly sunny west wind and 46-degree high tomorrow. 38 with increasing clouds, some rain late in the day on Friday, then another spell of freezing rain for Friday night, early Saturday morning. More rain to follow. Temperatures pop back into the 40s on Saturday, 36 on Sunday, then back into colder weather early next week with a couple of snow flurries on Monday and some snow chances increase late Tuesday, Wednesday next week. We settle back to barely above 30 by day and teens at night. Colder weather ahead for early next week. For Steve AJ Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Soldier.
Take charge of the years ahead with a smart, sound investment strategy and business succession plan. Busey Bank's business and wealth management experts help you envision your best future with powerful insights and proven strategies. Building business and growing wealth since 1868, Busey Bank, proud to be the official bank of the Fighting Illini. Member FDIC.
I'm Elizabeth McDonald, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Moana 2's strong box office and streaming are helping Walt Disney. Its earnings topped expectations, and its streaming business made a profit. It lost money a year ago. Disney Plus raised prices, but it lost fewer subscribers than expected. Its experiences unit, which includes theme parks and cruises, was impacted by Hurricanes Milton and Helene. Walt Disney World was closed for a day, and it impacted one cruise. Disney's standing by its outlook for the year, shares up 2.5%. Novo Nordisk says sales of its weight loss medication Wegovy more than doubled in the recent quarter. The stock's up more than 3%. Uber is still seeing increasing demand for its rides and Uber Eats delivery service, though Uber shares are lower. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Jenny Cosola, invested in you.
Kudlow on Fox Business is now on the go for podcast fans. Download the Kudlow Show podcast every weekday at foxbusinesspodcasts.com. Kudlow covers the latest headlines and business trends with an emphasis on the financial impact facing households and businesses across the country. Listen to interviews with key business newsmakers. The Kudlow podcast will be available on the go after the show every weekday at foxbusinesspodcasts.com or wherever you download your favorite podcasts.
We're talking to Nate Evans of the Nate Evans Group.
Yeah, I mean, we hire full-time agents. That's a non-negotiable for us. We're really picky about who we hire. We interviewed over 30 agents last year. I took 2. That's a lot different than a lot of the people that we compete against. Nothing against them, but sometimes they're collecting bodies and trying to train and educate them, bring them up to something. We only hire experience. Everybody on my team has been a part of over 100 transactions before you're even eligible to be on my team. And then we can work from there and go from some things. But they're showing up to the office every day. We have conversations about market conditions, and we're able to be a little more aware of what we're experiencing and then use all that information amongst each other to kind of help each other through these times and help our clients in return.
So call the only agent I would call if I needed to sell my home. It's Nate Evans with eXp Realty, 217-239-7113, or do an online search to Nate Evans Group to start packing.
Sell your home with Nate. Pick the price, pick the day. Go to the NateEvansGroup.com.
Friendly sales team help you to find just the right appliance, just the right price.
I'm Paul Reekin, and you know my dad, Dennis, for the famous
Wow.
Yeah, that's the one. That
Wow
is a Central Illinois tradition, decades in the making. It's our award-winning staff that puts the
Wow
in Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. We have in-house service, in-house appliance installation, a knowledgeable sales staff that will make sure you get the guaranteed best deal on your next appliance purchase. Oh, and let's not forget, a jingle that's been around for decades. Just like the quality service we provide, I'll make sure it's here for decades to come. We're the store that makes you say,
Wow!
We stand behind what we sell, we offer so much more. Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. When you buy from us, you get the whole store.
All right, so Donald Trump wants to take over Gaza. I didn't hear that going to bed last night, and I woke up to it. If you missed that, he met with Benjamin Netanyahu, and if I mean, they're just, it's hard to keep up. I mean, yesterday it was about the USAID and all the waste, and I'm getting more on that. I got some clips about that. This is apparently a government agency that kind of went rogue, and they just said, we want to take a look at, no, we have to take a look at your, no. And so they shut down all their computers and gave everybody administrative leave and locked them out because they were afraid they're going to go in and trash everything and we'd never find out. And a congressman was on TV yesterday saying, well, if we bring him in for a hearing, they're just going to lie. They're just going to lie. They'll say, well, I have your signature on this paper to okay this, and here it is, the proof, and here's the date. And they said, I didn't do that. It's not true. So that's what you're dealing with.
I see.
So they're going to take over $8 billion. And that's what we got going on right now. So it's insubordination to the nth degree. So it's and you're not talking about wiping out polio shots. You're talking about $50,000 for an opera with transgenders in Colombia. I mean, it's stuff that shouldn't be part of that.
Right.
We should try and help people survive and give them food and help them help
if
countries.
there is some performance art stuff, I'm sure there's a performance arts, grants in another area.
It isn't USAID.
Right.
It isn't $20 million to Iraq for Sesame Street. $20 million to Iraq. Now, where'd the other $19 million go? I mean, there's all kinds of stuff going on here. So what we're doing is we're checking the books, which I don't think we've ever done. No. We've never had any president that has a clue where every penny's going. We have no idea. It's too big. So Trump says, now we're going to do that. That's what Elon Musk is doing. And, of course, I got to play this clip from AOC. Oh, sweetie, honey, don't call Elon.
I know.
Don't call him dumb.
Yeah, I heard some other things saying, let's do some kind of trivia or some kind of contest back and forth between those two and see who comes out on top.
If she were your daughter, you'd say, honey, no. Don't say that.
Right, don't poke the bear.
Say he's odd. They're different.
Right, but don't say intelligent.
Dumb.
Yeah.
Man. Anyway, so those are coming up. So Trump wants America to take Gaza. What is Gaza? Anybody have any idea how big Gaza is? It's where the Palestinians have been. 2.1 million people have populated that. But the president said, yes, there's nothing left. There's still bombs planted. The buildings are falling down. Who wants to go to Gaza? There's nothing you can do. There's nowhere to live.
Right.
So he wants America to take it. And so envision Champaign to Monticello. Okay? That's how long it is. Champaign to Monticello.
Okay.
And then envision Philo to Sydney. It's like 25 miles long and 5 miles wide. That's it. You could jog the width of it. 5 mile run. So it's small. And it's right on the Mediterranean. He wants to make it the Riviera. I think if you look at the history of Gaza and that area, it's been pretty bad for about 2,000 years. So Donald Trump wants them to go somewhere else. Israel's probably going, well, that'd be nice and not on my doorstep. And the place is a rubble. So what if you had, a very, very nice place people can live? And the Riviera, fancy, nice. Obviously, everybody's jumping. Oh, you can't do that. You can't do that.
Right.
Where are they going to move back to? They can't move in a pile of rocks. It's miles and miles of rock.
I don't know why this bothers me a little bit, too. It just seems insensitive. I don't know.
What's insensitive about giving them their own space? He wants Jordan and Egypt. Egypt's not going to take anybody. But there's already 2 million Palestinians in Jordan. Can we buy a little more land that's wide open and build? I mean, what's your idea? Right? I mean, it's like, what do you do with they've been fighting for 2,000 years? I think it's great to explore new ideas. There's no way China, Russia, nobody's going to feel comfortable with us having a presence that close. But as far as who could get it done, now Donald Trump doesn't want to pay for it. He wants the countries near there to pay. But he said America will build it. That's as out of the box as we've had. I've never heard such an idea where you cock your heads going, wow. Is that,
right.
So he's
sending residents to Egypt and Jordan.
Yeah, I don't think Egypt wants any part of Palestine.
Right.
So Jordan has accepted some. Is there room for a couple more million? I don't know.
It looks like roughly 2 million Palestinians to neighboring Arab countries.
Yeah, President Trump thought 1.8.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu called Donald Trump the best friend Israel has ever had. And so they met for quite a while. Okay.
He talks about economic development, number of jobs, housing, people in the area.
Before dismissing it, maybe we explore it.
Right.
Not to say it's going to happen, but why not? Why not look at it?
Repopulate the world's people, including Palestinians, to Gaza. So.
I mean, if you make it fancy like Dubai, that'd be pretty much a tour. Better buy another VRBO. Got one in Greenland, looking at now Gaza.
Says in this article, Trump did not rule out U.S. troops in Gaza to secure the territory.
Well, you're going to have to initially, for sure. And then the China, Russia, Iran won't like that if we have a presence there. So,
right.
All right, we have a Stever Bulldog Disposal,
Oh.
maker of the doggy bag. It's 6 cubic yards of your stuff you have to get rid of. It's $40. You can buy it at Do It Best Hardware, the canvas bag. But pickup's like $175. I'll pay for everything.
Okay.
So if you want a doggy bag from Bulldog Disposal, Phil and Jody and the fine team of the family, text in doggy bag.
Okay.
217-359-2255, the Fisher National Bank text line, and you just might get about $215 worth of stuff that I'll pay for. One doggy bag, one person, text in doggy bag if interested in cleaning out stuff you can't contribute to anywhere. That you just got to get rid of it.
Easy cleanup of household items, furniture, old clothing.
217-359-2255 for doggy bag. Brother Johnny, maybe Ed Martin next.
Fox News, I'm Chris Foster.
Gaza's been very unlucky for them. They've lived like hell.
And after meeting with Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu at the White House, President Trump says the United States should take over, level, and redevelop the Gaza Strip, sending Palestinians to live somewhere else.
The Saudi Foreign Ministry says Saudi Arabia rejects any attempts to displace the Palestinians from their land. And the French government saying France reiterates its opposition to any forced displacement of the Palestinian population of Gaza, which would constitute a serious violation of international law.
Fox's Lucas Tomlinson, a man wanted for shooting 6 people, killing one at a cosmetics warehouse in Ohio, worked there, police say.
This is something that we hope that would never happen in our community, but we prepare for it.
New Albany Police Chief Greg Jones says they're looking for the shooter and there does not appear to be a threat to the general public. America's listening to Fox News.
Here's a look at local news. Rantoul man charged with murder in the deadly shooting of an Elgin teen in Chicago last fall. Police say Darren Wolf, arrested last Friday at his Rantoul home after he was identified as one of the attackers in the October 2024 killing of Jesse Kendall, the 18-year-old walking with friends to a concert when they were confronted. Jury deliberations resuming in Michael Madigan's landmark corruption trial. Jurors have been deliberating more than 21 hours since last week. They are considering nearly 24 counts against the former Illinois House Speaker. Co-defendant Michael McLean charged in 6 of those counts. Champaign School District took steps towards filing an important position Monday night. They discussed who'll step into that board seat, which has been empty since December. The board did not reach an agreement on who should take over the seat just yet. However, they did get a chance to meet with 3 people vying for that position. And that's what's happening. You're locally up to date from the Stevie J Broadcasting Newsroom. I'm Jim Miller.
Check your weather. Meteorologist Greg Soye says maybe some ice later today developing. Be careful about all that. Our weather brought to you by Carl.
When it comes to your health, they'll be there with you every step of the way through it all, from convenient care to advanced diagnostics. You can count on Carl. Learn more at carl.org.
Hello again, everyone. Let's check weather for Eastern Illinois, Champaign, and vicinity, and pay heed to that winter weather advisory up and in effect with some freezing mist and freezing drizzle as the day wears on, developing across the area. Then it's rain and freezing rain mixed event this afternoon. Temperatures a struggle at 32 to 35, but not towards evening time to achieve that on a gusty east wind. Keep an eye on the roadways, walkways, and driveways. Some rain and mixed freezing rain this evening, even a thunderstorm. Overnight temperatures begin to modify and slowly climb from the low to mid 30s on a gusty east-southeasterly wind, shifting southwest, partly sunny, melting and thawing tomorrow at 46, but more rain back in here late Friday, including some freezing rain Friday night, early Saturday morning. 38 on Friday, a Saturday high with a rainy day's worth of weather at 42, 36 on a cooler Sunday. Back to colder Monday with a couple of snow flurries into the low to mid 30s and highs near 30. Colder teens at night and increasing snow chances, maybe a couple of those to deal with late Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. For Stevie J Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Soldier.
Ladies and gentlemen, happy to welcome to the program United States Attorney for the District of Columbia. Wow. Ed Martin, what are you doing? How are you?
Hey guys, I thought this was a Super Bowl pick show. Are we going to pick Super Bowl? Are we going to,
There you go.
We got not sponsored by FanDuel, but anyway, whatever those things. But anyway, great to be with you guys. I was looking forward to it all week.
Well, we look forward to having you on, buddy. That's for sure. Brother Johnny's at Bible study where we all belong. Johnny, what are you studying today?
We're studying Deuteronomy, and now, actually, we're trying. Now, what have you done, Eddie? That's what we're trying to figure out biblically.
Well, I'm studying that myself. So, I just want to know. every Wednesday, everybody hears about Johnny in Bible study, but we forget he lives in New Orleans, and so between Mardi Gras, whenever that comes in a few weeks, and now the Super Bowl coming down there, I mean, the whole world is descending on New Orleans, right? So the parties.
Steve was asking about security, which is high, but that was before Trump decided he's coming. So I don't even know.
He's coming? Oh no!
Oh yeah!
Wow.
I didn't hear. He's coming. I didn't hear that either. Oh my gosh, I didn't hear that. Oh brother, well.
Yeah, we've heard it, and he has said. Well, it's been said he's coming. We'll see if he does. And do you think Taylor Swift invited him? That might be what's going on. It's finally. She's becoming quite the staple here at the Super Bowl, but. I think it'll be a good game, and it's going to be a huge crowd. And my friend Shad Khan has his incredible super yacht parked by the aquarium, Stevie. It's
I saw that.
Well, what would you guess that would need to staff? I've got the number here. How many?
40 staff.
That's crazy, man.
40.
But I think it's Fleet's 12 and 40 staff.
Yeah, I know.
This is like, and by the way, let's say Stevie J, let's just do a public service announcement now. If you're a smart kid, just go to the University of Illinois and study engineering, because you can either end up as Con or Johnny. Both guys don't seem to be working quite as hard as you and me, Stevie J. If you know what I'm saying. I'm just pointing it out.
Well, I don't know about Shad. He still has 25,000 people somewhere doing things all over the world. And but yeah, it's a great school. Thanks, Eddie. You're right about that.
Yeah.
Well, all right. I'm trying to put the paperwork together for my VRBO in Greenland. Do I need one in Gaza, Eddie?
Yeah. Well, I tell you, it's wonderful to be up close to see this president in action in terms of just getting people to think and rethink their assumptions, right? So, I mean, one of the things that this is nothing. I don't have any knowledge. I'm not involved in this, but observe about that part of the world is the thinking is pretty rhythmic. It's the same way for 40 or 50 years. One side does this, and one side does that. One side does this, one side does that. And so I think whether the Abraham Accords a few years ago when the president was in office, where traditionally completely complete enemies were sitting down saying, yeah, let's figure out how to work. And nobody thought that you could do that. It was a change. And in this case, it's hard to imagine why any nation would say, well, let's go and do this again. We'll have next door to us people that not just hate us, but they have a system that breeds, 15-year-olds that are willing to blow themselves up against us. So if you're President Trump, he's basically saying, yeah, we're not going to do that again. And at least he's making people think in a way they never had. So, and on the Greenland thing, I encourage people. This is fun. I didn't know this until a little while ago. Get a real map. And by that, I mean, the maps that we see have to be, you can't do a real map because the map gets too big. I mean, get a real map, though, of the world. You can find them online and see the size of Greenland and where it impacts it, where it's connecting, kind of up towards Russia. And so there's lots of strategic reasons to be looking at that I don't, again, until Donald Trump 7 years ago or whenever it was said that, nobody thought about this. In other words, he challenges so many assumptions.
Mm-hmm.
Think about this. In Washington, D.C., they're going to vote on 2 Democrats to be in his cabinet. Now, it used to be when you put in one, like Ray LaHood from Illinois that was a big deal because I think Obama put him in as a Republican. He's a moderate Republican in a second-tier office of a cabinet. No insult to him or anybody else. But you put in the head of HHS a Democrat. You put the head of DNI a Democrat, and that's happening in Washington again, challenging all the assumptions. And that doesn't even touch on Doge. So it's a fascinating time.
Well, and I'll tell you, Trump, he just makes the fundamental observation. We've been doing this for 30 or 40 years. It doesn't work. We can't keep doing it. We got to try something else. He makes you think, too, Stevie.
Yep.
I could tell you, until 5 o'clock yesterday, it never crossed my mind to buy some land in Gaza. But Eddie, we wanted the waterfront frontage, but the Pelosi's have an option on all of it already. They're always one step ahead of us.
It's only 25 miles long by about 5 miles wide, and it's right on the Mediterranean.
Yeah. Well, that's what I told my wife. It's not like it's Texas. It's not like it's Florida even. It's a picture. One of the really nicely developed Lake Michigan or somewhere, right? Where you're talking about, as you point out. So again, it's just so counterintuitive to even think about it, and probably, my bet, I don't know, it won't lead to much, or it could lead to, but it just makes everybody think and think differently.
That's right.
Think differently about it, and so it's really interesting.
Well, it certainly points out that what we're doing isn't working. So throw that out there. That's completely different. But at least start thinking a little bit off track or out of the box, as we like to say, because we can't keep doing the same thing.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make any sense.
Ed, can I ask you about workers? I don't know where to go now that you're the United States Attorney for the District of Columbia, but I did want to play this.
I want to tell you, Gorsuch. I want to tell you, Kavanaugh. You have released the whirlwind, and you will pay the price.
Yeah, well, that's kind of threatening, and they had to send security to the Supreme Court justices' homes. And you were quoted, I think, on this story, Mr. Ed Martin, United States Attorney for District of Columbia. You can't say stuff like that, right?
No, well, let me make a broad comment, because there's actually stuff happening in general. What was quoted was a letter that is now public from my office to Chuck Schumer on that incident. But let me say something broadly about it. It's a little bit better and more appropriate to be careful. If you threaten people who work in government, whether it's somebody who works in my office, which has happened to some of our prosecutors, there's been people that were unhappy with what happened, and they threatened them. It would happen to the Doge kids, these young kids, 20-year-olds that are really smart kids, and they're government employees. Or if you're threatening a judge, like the clip you played seems to show, any of that is not only not appropriate, you're breaking laws. And so, these people that are going to do that, they think it's sort of activism to dox a 19-year-old Doge employee, or to dox a prosecutor in my office, or to threaten judges. We're just not going to stand for it. And, if you stand for the little stuff, if you say, well, we're going to look the other way on little stuff because it's a 20-year-old kid and you doxed him and he mostly is afraid, he's not really threatened, then you start to slide down a slippery slope. And so we just don't tolerate it. And I think that's, we're not going to tolerate it. We're going to investigate these things. There was publicly available, you can see it, a woman drove from Massachusetts, went up on Capitol Hill with homemade Molotov cocktails last week. She was probably mentally ill in some significant ways. I don't know. I can't tell. But you can't tolerate threats against workers and elected officials, and we have to stay that way. But I'll tell you, yesterday, guys, I've not talked to the media. The only time I ever talk to the media is you guys. I don't think you count because I feel like it's talking to my friends. But I haven't spoken once to the media since I've been here, except yesterday. I went to the Frederick Douglass House in Southeast Washington, D.C., which is a neighborhood, it's a section of town that is pretty has a lot of challenges in terms of violent crime. And it's got this beautiful Frederick Douglass, the historic figure. He's going to be in the National Garden of American Heroes that President Trump has designed. It's amazing. Frederick Douglass, if your listeners haven't studied him, he wrote a memoir called The Narrative of, I think it's called The Narrative of a Slave. It's amazing. But anyway, I went to the house there in this really tough neighborhood, did my first interview with a local TV reporter, and the simple message was this: whether you're a congressman or you're a grandma, in Washington, D.C., you should be able to leave your house and take a walk, get in your car, and not deal with thugs with guns. And there are thugs with guns all over the District of Columbia. It's not acceptable. President Trump has said we're going to make D.C. safe, and we're going to do it. And so whether it's threatening employees or judges or, carrying a gun and terrorizing citizens, we have to stop the little things. You can't say, oh, well, don't go out of your house after 5 because we're worried about crime. That can't be in America, and it's certainly not in Washington, D.C. So, it's a challenge to refocus from all the other stuff that people will want to talk about to protecting people. But you have to sort of start with zero tolerance and work back from there.
And I think, Ed, that's what people want. I mean, we want to feel safe, and we are worried about the little things. You're right about the little things, a few days ago, going back to Schumer, here's a symbol of the Democratic Party and their connection with America. He holds up an avocado and a can of Corona beer. Nobody drinks cans. What's he doing? It's a bottle with a line discount, Chuck. You have no idea what you're doing. And they're just completely out of touch and doubling down on what got them in the situation they're in. And I'm kind of hoping they do it for a while, Steve, because it's incredible. Calling Elon Musk a Nazi is just good politics for the Republicans. And I think he's pretty respected, and he certainly isn't a Nazi. And they just keep screaming at everything that happens without regard to watching the consequences, which are good, and the effect it's going to have on America, which is good. It doesn't matter if it's anything that happens with Trump or the Republicans, it's bad, and they're all voting against his nominees. What do you think about that, Ed? That's just disgraceful. It really is.
Yeah. I mean, the thing that I try to tell people is, now now sort of working and living in this world, or working here more than in the past, it is extraordinary the power of the media. And you can say, well, thankfully we've exposed the fake news, and I think that's generally true, but it's still powerful. And part of the power of it is it makes people, I think, believe things that you want to shake your head and be like, are you really sure you're buying that? And you can see it in the politicians, especially as your point in the opposition. They're just saying the same things over and over again. And you think, I don't think it's working the same way. You're not getting away with those hoaxes the same way. Nobody fell for the hoax that somehow Elon Musk was doing, Nazi thing. Nobody fell for that, except on MSNBC. And so, and then you say, well, there's people on MSNBC that are being misguided. But if you look at their numbers, I think they're down 40% again. So not many people anymore. You got just a handful of people watching Rachel Maddow yell and scream. And if you watch the right night, you'll see my picture up there. And I thought it looked pretty good, guys. I mean, maybe lose a little weight, but But I think the thing that makes you nervous is makes me nervous now that, like I mentioned, worrying about keeping people safe, is the power of I think more and more of us are breaking the hoax, breaking the hoaxes down and seeing it. But there's still a subset of people that are convinced. And if you want to say Nazi, 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 and it's a lie, then you're going to get people that respond to that, and that's a problem, right? And again, I don't want government to solve it. But I don't want because I'm nervous about that. But I don't want to. You can't walk away from it. You have to name it and see what you can do about it.
Yeah. No, it's amazing.
Well, the big story yesterday was USAID, and they're insubordinate, and they wouldn't listen to the fact that we want to look at the numbers. And how dare you ask where I'm spending all my money, even though I spent $20 million in Iraq for Sesame Street? Who better to comment on this than Johnny's friend, Senator John Kennedy?
The tofu-eating wokarati at the USAID are screaming like they're part of a prison riot because they don't want us reviewing the spending. But that's all Mr. Musk is doing, and he's finding some pretty interesting stuff. To my friends who are upset, I would say with respect, call somebody who cares. They better get used to this. It's USAID today. It's going to be Department of Education tomorrow. And really, here's what's going on. For 4 years under President Biden, the people in charge ask one simple question. Who needs to pay more in taxes? Who needs to pay more in taxes? Well, that's not the question that the Republicans and President Trump are going to ask. Our question is, what the hell happened to the money? And that's all that's going on.
Well, that's what's going on. There's some resistance. They're having a little rallies, Ed. I mean, you can't do that. You can't ask that. Crazy.
Yeah, I mean, look, here's the thing, guys. It's extraordinary to be close to it and be, in some sense, a part of it. Is the President Trump has said from the beginning he's going to look at all of our priorities and make sure that they align with what he ran on, which is putting America first. And so whether it's the DOGE effort or the efforts in various other parts of the government to look at things critically and say, what are we doing? How are we doing it? And that's what he's doing. He's not hiding it. He ran on it. He's doing it. He says it over and over. And so USAID, I know it very, very well because of my previous policy work. It's $50 billion a year, something like that, a year. and spends money all over the world. You go to places like Italy, where I lived, Indonesia, where I lived, and you see USAID money spent there. And then you look at what it's spent on, and you say, is this a priority? Is someone tracking this priority? And, I hate to say it, but you can tell the impact of something by who's screaming the loudest. If Congressman Jeremy Raskin and a new Congressman Vindman are down there yelling about this, you're saying to yourself, what's the story here? That these are not the leaders of the thoughtful caucus, in my opinion. And so you're saying, okay. And by the way, one of the other ones that's came out, and people are yelling about USAID, but in the last few weeks, even first week, the hundreds of millions of dollars that go to faith-based organizations to manage the migrant crisis. And you want to be cynical, you say, to make money off of the migrant crisis, but, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. Hundreds of millions of dollars to organizations that are basically, facilitating this huge migrant crisis. So that kind of stuff, why shouldn't we ask? And look, Rahm Emanuel has a piece, I think, in the Washington Post, and Rahm Emanuel, right, Democrat, liberal, Obama's chief of staff, and he says, if we're complaining to our constituents about billions and billions spent in foreign aid, most Americans are like, oh, thank goodness, we're going to stop that and focus at home. So, again, President Trump has not been shy about what he's going to do. And what I would tell people is, when the TV tells you to worry about this, just know his vision is the whole of government. And every place is the same. We're, looking at how to put America first as a principle and then go from there.
Well, and I think that goes back to that reflex going on right now with the Democrats, which is the scream about, we need to pay $20 million to Iran for Sesame Street. And they're just digging their hole deeper. It's like a terrible political approach. And we see from this investigation, Steve, that, yes, we are blowing money all across the board. We all knew that. We all talk about it. We laugh at it. Now the people in charge of the United States of America are trying to do something about it. And we don't have to raise taxes. And we don't have to say, oh, well, we can't pay any more for North Carolina. We don't have the money. We can just use the money better. And I think that's what's really happening right now, more so than I've ever seen it.
No, right.
I don't know about you, Steve.
No, never, ever. And finally, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez commenting on Elon Musk.
This dude is probably one of the most unintelligent billionaires I have ever met or seen or witnessed. Which, you can probably even glean that from watching these people on TV. Anyways, all of that is to say is that they don't do their homework.
Oh my gosh. If I knew her, I would say, oh, honey, don't, you can call him a Nazi. Don't call him dumb. Okay, please. I mean, wow.
Hey, Aaron, she jumped out of her Tesla to do that little podcast.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
That's funny. I didn't know that. That's funny. Yeah. Well, again, the thing I would point to, guys, one of the things about this President Trump, maybe especially this term, people used to say, oh, no one's going to want to work for him. Who's going to want to do that? You look around. I mean, it's a cast of characters of amazing breadth and background and seriousness. I mean, the guy that's the Treasury Secretary, his name is Bessant, and I had a reason to deal with him this week. I mean, he's a totally impressive guy, right? Totally impressive, right? In other words, Trump said, I'm going to go play big league ball, and he's got the, the 27 Yankees. I mean, as far as I can see, it's just unbelievable. Hegsteth is unbelievable. Pam Bondi's unbelievable. And then you go RFK Jr. I mean, until a minute ago, RFK Jr. would have been part of an iconic Democrat family, and then people would have said, "Wow!" Now, of course, the family's fighting, I guess, amongst themselves. But anyway, so it is. You can say what you want about Elon. You can't say he's dumb. And more importantly, now I'm going to tell you that you're going to have a movement in American politics that attracts 20-year-old geniuses who want to spend their time working on making government work, and you're going to complain? In what universe? We have said we want to make, get the best and the brightest, and I've met some of them. These kids, young people that are working they're geniuses. They're not smart. These people, Stevie J, these people are even smarter than Johnny. I mean, these are actual geniuses, So it's unbelievable, and we should be like, wow, how did we get a vision that could attract these people instead of complaining and calling them names?
Well, the word that comes to my mind, Ed, is unleashed. Trump has unleashed the wrath of common sense Americans on this nonsense. And he's got this army of pretty straight thinkers who I think are pretty honest people with integrity. And they're just rifling through this mess. And we're going to find things out that even though we're almost impossible to shock, that'll shock us. And I think that's how you start. That's how you start down a new road. You have to clean house. And it's just amazing how he's put together this, like Ed said, kind of this odd group of people from everywhere. But anybody who he thinks can start working now and get to the bottom of things, like Ed Martin.
Yep. No, look at that, baby. No, he knows, and Trump can gauge talent. That's why Ed Martin is the United States Attorney for District of Columbia. Ed, we really appreciate you being on, and I can't stop MSNBC from streaming or CNN for listening, but we appreciate you being on. And
well, let me just say, wait a second. The Chief Spy 6. Take it to the bank, guys. Don't tell my neighbor. My next door neighbor.
Chief Spy 6.
My next door neighbor is a Chiefs fan. I mean, an Eagles fan, and those guys are pretty intense. So don't if Ed Shapiro calls in, don't tell him that I picked the Chiefs by 6. Tell him it's Eagles by 1. So but
I had the Chiefs last year, just on the strength of Taylor Swift being on a roll. But she's kind of died off a little bit. I'm going to go with the Eagles by 1 too, Ed, because the Chiefs have had a lot of games where they lucked out, and I think their luck's going to run out this time.
Gentlemen, I appreciate you, Ed. Thank you so much, Johnny. We'll call you next week. Talk to you next week. U.S. Attorney for District of Columbia, Ed Martin. Brother Johnny down at Bible study in New Orleans, ESPN 93.5. Well, Ed said Chiefs, and Johnny said Philly. Mm-hmm. Steve Suderman at Good Vibes. What say you?
Oh, brother. I say the Bills aren't in it. Detroit's not in it.
Yeah.
I don't give a rat's behind.
It's our friend Steve Suderman, Good Vibes. Been around over 50 years of getting your big screens and sound systems. And heck, you got a lot of people that are fired up for this game. And you got TVs and systems that are amazing.
This will be the last Wednesday I can say Super Bowl sale. Nearly every TV in the house is going to go up, some of them hundreds of dollars on Monday.
Wow.
And depending on the implementation of the Mexican tariffs, they may go up further and stay there. So it is safe to say TVs may never be this affordable again. And we're seeing such fantastic deals, and especially on the big ones. We're selling 75s and 85s I don't remember before. So people are responding to something. I'm not sure what it is, but maybe they're just spending money, and maybe they're trying to beat tariffs. I don't know. I don't care. I hope it doesn't just fizzle out next week, but it looks like it may. There's only a handful of models that have sold out. I know there's one Samsung we can't get any more of between now and then. I think they're going to honor the order, but we've got the OLEDs from LG and Sony. Those are our number 1 and 2 anyway, so I don't need the Samsung that much. But it is really fun to sell the big ones.
Yeah.
And we make it as easy as possible with free delivery and with 0%. If you want to just split it into 12 payments, you can. It doesn't cost a nickel extra to do that. But it might let you get up to that next size or that next quality level without having to, put a pinch on the exchequer. There's a lot of tariff talk in the industry. Like, what are we going to do? We represent a Canadian company called Anthem and Paradigm, so it's electronics and speakers that are built up there. We don't know what's going to happen there, but they're trying to make it so that they're going to make a huge buy-in. Klipsch has announced an 8% deal for the dealers with very long terms, and a lot of those products are made in China.
Well,
so
you
they're going to bring them in. So.
You're the place. You're right by the driver's license facility, Round Barn. How else can people get hold of Good Vibes?
You can find us virtually at gvibes.com. Call us up at 351-0909, or stop into that place next to the driver's license facility.
You want to buy one, maybe now. Get in there and take a look. You are the man. He's been there
now would be good.
Every single day for 50-some years. It's Steve Suderman, legendary figure in Champaign-Urbana. We appreciate you, my friend.
In my own mind, right?
No. Good talking. We'll talk to you next week.
All right.
Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it. Steve Suderman of Good Vibes. All right, time for the news at 8 o'clock. We'll be right back. You're listening to WSJK ESPN 93.5 Tuscola, Champaign-Urbana, your home for the St. Louis Cardinals.
Searching for a gunman who shot up his workplace. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
This pattern is too common in our country, and we must do better.
Sloan Spalding is the mayor of New Albany, Ohio, outside Columbus, where a gunman opened fire at a cosmetics plant late last night, killing one coworker, wounding 5 others. Police Chief Greg Jones says
our state partners and federal authorities immediately began to try to track the suspect down. We are doing so as we speak.
A police officer is being mourned in North Las Vegas, Nevada, killed when he confronted an armed man who's also dead, hit by return fire. Reaction keeps coming in to President Trump's controversial plan to rebuild Gaza, where a ceasefire still holds. Majed al-Ansari, an advisor to Qatar's prime minister, just told Fox,
no one player around the world can do it alone. This has to be an international effort led by countries like the United States in order for us to have a sustainable peace in the region.
Here's the president's plan.
The U.S. will take over the Gaza Strip, and we will do a job with it, too. We'll own it and be responsible for dismantling all of the dangerous unexploded bombs and other weapons on the site.
Wanting to demolish the war destruction and develop Gaza into like a Riviera in the Middle East and send Palestinians displaced to Egypt, Jordan, and other countries. Hamas calls it a recipe for chaos. President Trump's planning a new transgender executive order today that aims to prevent athletes born male from competing in girls' or women's sports. The day after a federal judge blocked a Trump order to move transgender female inmates out of women's prisons. The president also readying an executive order to abolish the Department of Education.
So we spend more per pupil than any other country in the world, and we're ranked at the bottom of the list. We're ranked very badly. And what I want to do is let the states run schools.
Now, Congress would have to sign off on getting rid of the Education Department. Trump critics warn it would gut some programs in schools, hurting students and families. A change at the U.S. Postal Service, which now says it will accept packages shipped from China and Hong Kong, hours after saying it wouldn't, following new U.S. tariffs on Chinese imports. America's listening to Fox News.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now save 50% on the new Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Plus free home delivery when you add a base. Ends Monday. Exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go. Shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
The U.S. will get a new Attorney General today, Pam Bondi, who was confirmed by the Senate last night with the support of just one Democrat, John Fetterman. Bondi has vowed to end what Republicans call a weaponization of government and targeted prosecutions. So President Trump posted on Truth Social this morning she'll be one of the most consequential attorneys general in our history. He also posted that Iran cannot be allowed to have a nuclear weapon.
With President Trump promising to put maximum pressure on Iran, the Iranians seem ready to talk. A government spokesman saying Iran's foreign policy would be driven by dignity, wisdom and interest. President Trump said he was open to a deal with Iran as he attempted to drive its oil exports down to zero and block its attempts to develop a nuclear weapon. Iran also seems happy about moves to freeze U.S. spending on foreign aid, the Islamist regime's state media hailing what it sees as a blow to U.S. support for the pro-democracy opposition. Jonathan Savage, Fox News.
The U.S. has flown its first flight of arrested illegal immigrants who've committed crimes or are security threats to Guantanamo, the U.S. prison for terror suspects that'll now house some of these arrested migrants. In New York, there is some assistance for the federal immigration raids.
Leaders in Nassau County on New York's Long Island say 10 detectives will be trained and deputized to conduct arrests of undocumented immigrants just as an Immigration and Customs Enforcement agent would. Nassau County Executive Bruce Blakeman, a Republican, says they'll be embedded with ICE teams. He says the county will also set aside up to 50 cells in the county jail to hold immigrants for up to 72 hours before they're transferred to ICE custody. New York law prohibits police from holding people solely for immigration enforcement purposes. Blakeman says officers aren't looking for undocumented migrants, but if a crime is committed, they will do a background check and potentially get ICE involved. In New York, Tanya J. Powers, Fox News.
On Wall Street, stock futures are falling ahead of the opening bell this hour. I'm Dave Anthony, and this is Fox News.
Here's a look at local news. 1099-G tax forms available for claimants in Illinois who received unemployment insurance benefits last year. The Department of Employment and Security says claimants who collected UI benefits last year will need the 1099-G tax form to complete their state and federal tax returns. It includes claimants who received regular UI benefits or benefits under any of the expired federal pandemic relief programs. Well, outgoing University of Illinois Chancellor Robert Jones taking a new job. University of Washington Board of Regents announced Jones will be the next president of the University of Washington. He will become the UW's 34th president and the first African-American to serve in that role. Jury deliberations resuming in Michael Madigan's landmark corruption trial. Jurors have been deliberating more than 21 hours since last week. They're considering nearly 24 counts against the former Illinois House Speaker. Co-defendant Michael McLean is charged in 6 of those counts. You're locally up to date from the Stevie J Broadcasting Newsroom. I'm Jim Miller.
All right, welcome to our second hour. There's Diane Ducey.
Good morning.
I am Stevie J. This is meteorologist Greg Solier, and
February 5th is Weather Person Day.
Weather Person Day, February 5, Weather Person Day.
Thank you.
Yes.
Be sure to...
Thank you. Are we going to change format and play holiday music for weather people, weather-related songs all day long here?
There you go.
Maybe on the country station we do that?
Remember, when you send Greg a Visa card, make sure that it's at least $50, okay? Come on.
There you go.
Let's go. Send all the Visa cards. By the way, when you buy a Visa card, it's like $5.
I know.
So that's why you get the particular store or something, because you have to pay an extra $5 for that 5% thing. Meteorologist Greg Solier, we're just kind of wondering when stuff kind of gets
freezing
a little
rain.
bit chilly and rainy, wet and icy.
The problem, it's going to probably start off as like a freezing mist, a freezing drizzle. And, there's a slew of reports of that coming in out of Missouri right now, as close to St. Louis. Problem is you don't really see a lot of it. There's nothing really plastered significantly on the radar sweep. So it becomes more of just a low-level, suspended, shallow layer of moisture working its way over these cold temperatures. The grounds are relatively warm coming off some of that 60-degree weather, so that kind of helps. But if you put rain through this dry, cold air mass, you just drop temperatures further, and hence the freezing aspect and the winter weather advisory, which is in effect until 9 o'clock across the area. Nothing so far from surface reports, but it's beginning to creep its way, at least the surface-based reports of some of this freezing stuff around the St. Louis area and a little east of there. We are at 30 now, Willett and Savoy, 28 Rantoul, 30 Danville, 26 over Bloomington Normal, 33 down towards St. Louis. Again, if you put some moisture through this, while we may come up a couple degrees, we may lose a couple degrees. So pay heed to the black ice potential, less travel areas, decks, overpasses, rural routes, walkways, driveways, etc., so forth and so on. I'm sure the road crews have a good heads up and advance notice on this. 35 towards evening time on a gusty east wind as the day wears on, with again some freezing mist, freezing drizzle. Periods of rain will get mixed in as the day wears on in through this evening. Above about 3,000 feet, clouds warm, temperatures are warm, and thunderstorm chances are there as well, along with the rain and freezing rain this evening. Temperatures low to mid 30s and rising to a partly sunny, better day tomorrow. West wind 46, back into almost the same setup, maybe less freezing aspect, but rain late Friday, period of freezing rain Friday night into Saturday morning, more rain Saturday at 42, mid 30s on Sunday, and we get back in the deeper, colder air a good part of next week and going forward. Flurries 34 Monday, low 30s Tuesday and Wednesday, and snow chances are on the increase as well, late Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. For Stevie J Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Solier.
Do I send Diane home early today, or will I get home?
You'll just just take, care, caution, take it easy.
Okay.
Maybe a little earlier. Just keep an eye on, like I said, this is advance warning. The road crews, I'm sure, are already throwing stuff on the roads.
Yep.
And so I think we'll be okay. Again, just watch the less traveled areas and all that. And everybody else out there, take your time.
Yeah. All right, my friend. Thank you so much. Meteorologist Greg Sawyer, brought to you by Urbana Park District.
They remind you the job fair is tomorrow if you're looking for seasonal gig, lifeguard, camp counselor, office work, part-time. They've got a lot of options. Phillips Recreation Center, 505 West Stoughton in Urbana. Tomorrow from 5 to 6:30. Learn more at urbanaparks.org.
Stoughton or Stoughton?
You know what? I remember having that conversation with Dave Shaw, and it depends on which side of Lincoln Avenue you're from.
Interesting. Well, whatever Dave Shaw says, you listen to.
And I think he said Stoughton typically.
Then I would say Stoughton.
Okay.
Whatever Dave says, he was one of the greatest newscasters of all time, news anchors and news directors. Dave Shaw, legendary man, passed away a number of years ago. What a fabulous guy.
I know it.
Okay, 8:10. We have a doggy bag. I'm giving away one doggy bag to somebody.
Yeah, some people are interested. They're texting in doggy bag to 359-2255.
Over $200 Stevie J's paying for, part of the Stever program. If you're not a member, you can join for free.
If this is the first time you're hearing about Phil and Bulldog Disposal and what they can do for you, it's a canvas bag, essentially. Yep. And it's, you unfold it and you keep unfolding it and you unfold it some more. And you can get it at some of the local hardware stores, too.
Do it best is what I've seen. In fact, I bought them there. I think we used 5 doggy bags last year. And so if you want to clean something out, you can't donate it, nobody will pick it up, that kind of thing.
That's right.
Then you just kind of clean stuff out. It's just garbage. Some things you just have to dispose of as best we can to reuse and recycle. But in any event, what you do is text in doggy bag to 217-359-2255 if you are a member of Stever. Again, you can go to gostever.com to join. And then you'll be eligible for the $40 canvas bag and the $175, $180 pickup. I'll pay for that. And there's no rush. It's whenever you're done, you call Phil and say, come get it.
Because it's this giant bag, you kind of do work a little faster. Whereas when you get the giant dumpster and it just sits there, and you know, all of a sudden you're going month after month. And
they don't like you to have it that long. In fact, they have like a week or two limit.
Okay.
So the doggy bag is more at your leisure. If you leave it on the grass, it's going to kill your grass. Eventually, you have to do something. If you load it up, get her done. Just do it on a weekend and then have him pick it up Monday.
Spring cleaning.
And then he'll bring the big truck with the crane, and the kids will love that.
That's right.
So it's bulldoggybag.com. You can take a look at that video or something.
Sounds good.
Or you can just simply text doggy bag 217-359-2255. That would be the Fisher National Bank text line. All right, it is Wednesday. Basketball tonight at 7:30. Illinois plays Rutgers at Rutgers.
Now we move on, and it's the RAC, and I think they're 70-plus sellouts in a row. Great environment for college basketball. Steve's done a great job. Obviously, they have 2 of the top 5 picks in next year's draft. Both very, very capable of having huge nights. They're both very gifted offensively. I think Ace is coming off a 40-point game or something very close to that at Northwestern. A team that is a typical Steve Peichel team. They're gritty. They play very, very hard on the defensive side. They're handsy. They'll throw multiple defenses at you. Have quality depth. So a team that's playing better of late and has some road wins to show for that. And we'll have to play very well to go there and win.
Yeah, but Coach, why is it so hard to win there?
70-some plus sellouts. They are right on top of you. They are extremely loud and vocal. And it's just we play in a lot of really big arenas, and this is more compact and tighter, and it's hot. It's it's just got an incredible vibe. I love going there. I love getting cussed at, things told how bad I look, and it's awesome. So it's just everything that's fun about basketball. It's a great environment, and Coach Michael's done a great job of creating that atmosphere.
Brad Underwood yesterday. We are there. Everybody's playing. Yeah, we're 6.5-point favorites, which feels like a whole lot of points at that small arena. They're tough to play and tough to beat out there. So go Illini.
Go Illini. And tomorrow it'll be the women playing Northwestern at home at 6 o'clock. In case you'd like to check that game out, I know Kendall Bostic's been selected, one of 68 players for the women's college basketball game, and the Jerry West Shooting Guard of the Year award for Kasparas Yakachonis, one of the nominees for that. Plus, the Oscar Robinson mid-season trophy watch list was announced yesterday with Kasparas Yakachonis on that list. We had Purdue, number 7, over Iowa 90-81 yesterday. UCLA took down number 9, Michigan State 63-61. Minnesota over Penn State 69-61. Number 21, Wisconsin over Indiana 76-64. Northwestern took down USC 77-75. It was also an upset with St. John's taking down Marquette. St. John's is 12, Marquette's 11. 70-64 was the final. Sorry, Father Joe. I know he typically listens and he's rooting for Marquette. We also have
a very good team.
Nebraska's at Washington tonight. Oregon is at number 24, Michigan at 5:30. And we've got the Bulls who beat Miami 133-124. And Portland over the Pacers won 12-89. Edmonton over the St. Louis Blues 3-2 in overtime. Edmonton is at Chicago to face the Blackhawks tonight at 8:30. So that's essentially sports. There's so much trending when it comes to how LeBron feels and the Luka and the trades. And it wasn't a hoax, was what I was seeing in the
Not
headlines.
a hoax.
But
No,
I know.
Maybe the some calling it the biggest trade in the history of sport.
Right.
That kind of gravity. So don't know. I think the shocking part of what has been said, LeBron says he didn't know anything about it, which is like, really?
Right.
That's hard to believe, but maybe he's on the tail end of all that. So as you file your tax return, Busey wants you to be aware of identity thieves. Yeah. Be careful. Somebody might be scheming to steal your refund. So they recommend at Busey to file early. Criminals will have less time to use your info for a fake return. Secure your Wi-Fi connection. Shred sensitive documents. Lock away secure documents. Secure your tax return by mailing it at a post office or official mailbox instead of your home. Monitor your mail and avoid scammers' schemes. A warning sign of tax identity theft is when the IRS denies your tax return. Somebody else did it. Contact the IRS Identity Protection Specialized Unit and complete an identity theft affidavit. You've got to close any bank accounts. It's a real problem. Busey wants you to be informed of any security issues, scams, or alerts that may compromise your personal or financial information. Visit the Money Matter blog or Busey.com or call them at 800-67-BUSEY today. They're happy to help. Busey for over 155 years, member FDIC. Trey Yinks live from, Tel Aviv? Mm-hmm. We will get on the ground information from an outstanding journalist, Trey Yinks, who's been there during this entire war.
Yeah.
And it'll be very, very interesting to get his take on what was said late last night. Donald Trump wants America to take over Gaza, 25 miles by about 5 miles, and make it a Riviera of the Middle East. I know. It's like I would never have thought of that.
Right.
So we will discuss that with Trey Yinks here coming up at the bottom of this hour. And then again, boys will be talking about Illinois basketball tonight. And you know what? It was like when I was watching the Ohio State game, I'm sitting in my seat, and we were down 11 with like 10 minutes to play. We're down with 7 minutes to play. It just felt like a loss. Mm-hmm. And I'm thinking, boy, if we lose this game, I don't know who we can beat. It was that kind of feeling. So then I said the Nebraska game was probably our valley. I'm hoping it is. And tonight, I give all the respect to Rutgers. I think it'll be a fantastic win if you can go out there and win in that gym. But all of our guys are playing, and we're pretty good when everybody's there.
Yeah.
And Will Riley's coming on. Kasparas hasn't played well, which means he's going to play well pretty soon, anytime maybe tonight.
Yeah.
So anyway, let's see what we can get done, and then we go to Minnesota, which won't be easy. No, nothing's easy. And then we got a big week next week. UCLA coming in. They just beat Michigan State last night. Mm-hmm. And then we'll have Michigan State, and we have Kofi coming on Tuesday. And
UCLA game. Mm-hmm.
Coming Saturday. Weather brought to you by Carl.
Carl reminds you they're always looking to help you in any stage of healthcare, from convenient care to advanced diagnostics. Learn more at carl.org.
Hello again, everyone. Let's check weather for East Central Illinois, Champaign, and Memphis. Saturday, busy weather pattern shaping up for openers over the next 5 to 10 days, including freezing rain issues and a winter weather advisory for the day-to-day. Some freezing mist and freezing drizzle will get going as the morning wears on. Some freezing rain this afternoon. 32 to 35 on temperatures. Gusty east winds will diminish and turn southwest later tonight, with, again, some rain at times in the overnight. Maybe a thunderstorm and some mixed freezing rain as well in spots this evening. 32 to 35 and rising temperatures to a partly sunny west wind and 46-degree high tomorrow. 38 with increasing clouds, some rain late in the day on Friday, then another spell of freezing rain for Friday night, early Saturday morning. More rain to follow. Temperatures pop back into the 40s on Saturday, 36 on Sunday, then back into colder weather early next week with a couple of snow flurries on Monday, and some snow chances increase late Tuesday, Wednesday next week. We settle back to barely above 30 by day and teens at night. Colder weather ahead for early next week. For Steve A.J. Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Solgay.
I'm Stuart Varney, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Payroll processing company ADP is reporting 183,000 new jobs created by private employers last month, stronger job growth than December. Economists were expecting an increase of 150,000. ADP says consumer-related businesses drove hiring last month. Job growth was weaker in business, services, and production. The monthly employment report is released on Friday morning. Walt Disney earnings are better than expected for the holiday season. The success of Moana 2 at the box office was a factor, and its streaming service made a profit. Shares of Alphabet, parent of Google, are down more than 7%. Its earnings topped expectations, but Wall Street is concerned about its plans to invest $75 billion in the business. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Jenny Cosola. Invested in you.
From the Fox News Podcasts Network.
Hey there, it's me, Kennedy. Make sure to check out my podcast, Kennedy Saves the World. It is 5 days a week. Every week, we check in with Jimmy Fallon, bring in authors for the book club, and even treat some of your favorite Fox personalities to a very special happy hour. Download and listen at foxnewspodcast.com or wherever you listen to your favorite podcast.
Kennedy Saves the World. America's listening to Fox News.
You know, with like Lands Inc., we specialize in, we've got an amazing HVAC department that takes care of your furnace, you know, your heat system, air conditioning, they do that. Yeah. And for us in Underground, we take care of all your pipes that come into your home, leave your home, and work around your home to keep it dry, you know, your drainage system, sump pumps, things like that. And exactly what you said, if you don't know, you know, a couple decades ago, it was more like, oh, something broke, go fix it, repair it, no big deal. Well, now with the technology, we have cameras, like you said, that we can come in on these orange comfort clubs, and we can camera your sewer lines underneath your house and check them out just to make sure they're fine. If there's something wrong with it, we can show you right then. You know, truth is in seeing it. Yeah. We show it to you, and then you can plan as a homeowner for making those repairs or dealing with that issue later on. If it's an immediate need, at least you're not caught off surprise.
That sewer camera inspection with a proper clean out. I was just learning more at landsinc.com.
From computer systems to brakes and tires too, at PDR, fixing cars is what they do. Remember, when you turn the key and the car won't run, call 367-9481 or use their dedicated text-only line at 383-0619. Additional information, including repair quotes and online scheduling requests, available from the website at pdrauto.com. Remember, they are what's best for your truck or car. They are PDR.
ILLINI. Cheer on the Illini and Pia's. The pregame fun starts at Pia's Sports Bar and Grill. Pia serves up its famous 10-ounce Slugger Burger along with great wings and so much more. Enjoy 350 22-ounce light and course light drafts every home and away Illini game. Watch the game at Pia's or ride the free shuttle to all home games. You'll find it all at Pia's with live video gaming, sports, food, drinks, and fun. See you at Pia's, West Springfield Avenue in Champaign.
Music therapy is a creative arts-based therapy that allows for creativity and expression while working on therapeutic goals. It is evidence-based and is facilitated by a board-certified licensed professional with music interventions to meet clinical and individual goals that are created together with the music therapist from Harmonia Healing Studio and their client. Music therapy is a strength-based, client-centered treatment, listening and making music, songwriting, improvisation, and more. Working with children and adults with intellectual, physical, or cognitive disabilities, mental health, mood disorders, behavioral issues, or trauma and PTSD. Harmonia Healing Studio, 109 North Main Street in St. Joseph. For in-office or telehealth visits, get started now as you reach out to harmoniahealingstudio.com. Visit Harmonia Healing Studio on Facebook or Instagram.
825 ESPN 93.5. Okay, so Trey Yingst, who if you watch Fox News at all, he's the man probably in the world that has always been at this spot in Tel Aviv or Jerusalem, wherever in Israel during the Hamas-Israel war. Mm-hmm. And he's been there the whole time, wrote a book about it. I think he's from Philly. We'll see if he's going to watch the Super Bowl.
Hershey, Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm. So probably, where's Hershey? Is that near Philly or New Pittsburgh?
I know that's the headquarters for Hershey's chocolate.
Yeah.
And,
well, we'll see.
That would be awesome to grow up with chocolate in the air.
We'll ask him. Okay, let's see here. We've got the doggy bag. People want the doggy bag. We're going to give one away today. That's where I help you clean your garage or whatever. And it'll be at doggy bag. Just text that into 217-359-2255. Philadelphia and the Kansas City Chiefs. Can Kansas City really win 3 Super Bowls in a row? There's all kinds of bets, including will Travis Kelce propose to Taylor Swift. That is actually a bet you can make. Probably minimal, because they're going to say, well, Travis could set that up and bet $1 million on it. So they're not doing that.
Right.
It'll be probably a $25 bet. I don't know. Does he get on a kneel and propose if they win? And he says, I'm retiring. I've won 3 in a row, and I want to propose. It'd be certainly memorable, and I think the cameras will be cognizant of that.
Yes.
And kind of follow him after the game, because I mean, they've been dating now a couple of years.
I think so.
It seems like they're getting along swimmingly.
Yes.
But anyway, he's kind of he's carefree dude, and I guess in some circles you could call him a little like a goofball. Funny,
okay,
irreverent a little bit,
right?
Anyway, so we'll see, but that's kind of a side wager. How many times will Taylor Swift be shown on screen?
I see, that could be one, huh?
I think 3.
Or you could make that like a drinking game, I guess, where you finish your beverage.
I think they're cognizant of people. Some people are, I can't stand with this. I mean, really angry. I mean, don't get angry, but. It's just like, play football,
right?
That kind of thing. She's a big star, and they're going to show her, I'm sure, a few times. It's not near what it was early when, she's in the booth, Taylor Swift, Eras Tour, all that. Now it's kind of worn off a little bit. Will President Trump go to New Orleans?
Right.
I mean, would he come out and flip the coin?
With Johnny down there.
He said he didn't know if he can go anywhere if President Trump comes. I mean, can you imagine that security?
The security. Oh, my goodness.
Anyway, that would be pretty cool. I'd love to see him walk out and flip the coin. That'd be kind of cool.
Uh-huh.
And I think he would get a thunderous ovation. I mean, it's nearly inevitable, except for after 9/11 when George W. Bush walked out of Yankee Stadium to throw the first pitch. That was unanimously cheering.
Oh my
usually,
goodness. That was such a great moment.
Every president's going, boo, yay, boo, yay.
Mm-hmm.
I think it'll be unbelievably, particularly in Louisiana, the reddest state in the union now, by the way. I think it would be thunderous applause. But I mean, all the presidents know the complications when they decide to go somewhere, what that means. Block traffic, I mean, people waiting for your entourage, all of that. Because the security levels of that. Can you imagine, I'm going to go to the Super Bowl? Oh, what does that mean? How do we do that? How do we possibly get you to the Super Bowl? Anyway, we'll see what happens with that. We'll be right back. Trey Yingst calling live from Israel. An update on all of the situation. Donald Trump floating the we're going to take over Gaza idea. We'll ask him what he's hearing. Stand by.
Get the roof your home deserves by Roof Doctors, your residential roofing specialist that has always offered the best warranties in the industry, like our non-prorated 50-year warranty. Our customers love that we are family-owned and locally operated. We make our customer needs our top priority. With over 30 years experience and the best customer service, give Roof Doctors a call today for your free estimate at 328-7529. In your community and for your community, Roof Doctors.
You have money laying all around your house. You just don't know it. And no, I don't mean selling your great-grandma's good china. I mean all the old metal items you don't want to use or get rid of. Don't pay someone to haul it away. Bring it into Max Twin City Recycling and get paid to have it taken off your hands. They love new customers and are more than willing to walk you through their process step by step. Come check them out at 2808 North Lincoln Avenue in Urbana.
Starting it over is what we do at Max Twin City Recycling.
This is Starla Carr with Provident Financial Group. There's no one-size-fits-all retirement plan. Finding the right plan for you depends on many factors. The good news is we can help you improve your retirement readiness, whatever your situation. Contact us today at 217-366-3456 or find us online at providentfinancialgroupllc.com.
Securities and advisory services offered through Commonwealth Financial Network. Member FINRA SIPC, a registered investment advisor.
Stevie J here. With Nate Evans of eXp Realty, you'll always get a stress-free sale for the most money.
Sell your home with Nate. Pick the price, pick the day. Go to theNateEvansGroup.com.
All right, we're going to take the Fox News. We'll get you some weather with Greg. Watch out for a little ice stuff, perhaps late afternoon or tonight. We'll keep track of that for you. And be right back after Fox News at 8:30. Trey Yinks live from Israel coming up next. ESPN 93.5.
Fox News, I'm Chris Foster. There's a manhunt in central Ohio after a workplace shooting at a warehouse. One person is dead, 5 hospitalized.
Police Chief Greg Jones says when responding officers arrived at the warehouse for KDC1, a cosmetics and personal care company, people were running from the building for safety.
We have a person of interest.
Officials say they're looking for Bruce Reginald Foster III in what Jones says was likely a targeted attack. Investigators recovered a firearm at the scene and say they don't believe Foster poses a general threat to the public.
Fox's Tony J. Powers, that shooting in New Albany, Ohio. He says they'll come around, but for now there is widespread rejection of President Trump's plan for the United States to take over and redevelop the Gaza Strip next to Israel, sending Palestinians there to live somewhere else.
Level it out, create an economic development that will supply unlimited numbers of jobs and housing for the people of the area.
America's listening to Fox News.
Got a plumbing, heating, cooling, electrical, or sewer problem? Look no further than Fred's Plumbing, Heating, Air Conditioning, and Electric. Locally owned and trusted, Fred's team of professionals is ready to tackle projects both big and small. Why waste time and money on complicated DIY fixes? Fred's experienced team will get the job done right, saving you time, stress, and cash. And when it comes to sewer problems, make sure you call Fred's for a second opinion you can trust. At Fred's, they do it all. No project too big, no project too small. They do insulation, repairs, replacement, and maintenance. And they now offer service agreements. For reliable service, professional expertise, and solutions that work, call Fred's Plumbing, Heating, Air Conditioning, and Electric today. 217-586-3863. Or go to fredscu.com. You can always trust Fred's.
Here's a look at local news. Well, outgoing University of Illinois Chancellor Robert Jones taking a new job. University of Washington Board of Regents announced Jones will be the next president of the University of Washington. He will become the UW's 34th president and the first African-American to serve in that role. Jury deliberations resuming in Michael Madigan's landmark corruption trial. Jurors have been deliberating more than 21 hours since last week. They're considering nearly 24 counts against the former Illinois House Speaker. Co-defendant Michael McLean is charged in 6 of those counts. 1099-G tax forms available for claimants in Illinois who received unemployment insurance benefits last year. The Department of Employment and Security says claimants who collected UI benefits last year will need the 1099-G tax form to complete their state and federal tax returns. It includes claimants who received regular UI benefits or benefits under any of the expired federal pandemic relief programs. You're locally up to date from the Stevie J Broadcasting Newsroom. I'm Jim Miller.
Hello again, everyone. Let's check weather for Eastern Illinois, Champaign, Urbana, and vicinity, and pay heed to that winter weather advisory up and in effect with some freezing mist and freezing drizzle as the day wears on, developing across the area. Then it's rain and freezing rain mixed event this afternoon. Temperatures a struggle at 32 to 35, but not towards evening time to achieve that on a gusty east wind. Keep an eye on the roadways, walkways, and driveways. So rain and mixed freezing rain this evening, even a thunderstorm. Overnight, temperatures begin to modify and slowly climb from the low to mid-30s on a gusty east-southeasterly wind, shifting southwest, partly sunny, melting and thawing tomorrow at 46, but more rain back in here late Friday, including some freezing rain Friday night, early Saturday morning, 38 on Friday, a Saturday high with a rainy day's worth of weather at 42, 36 on a cooler Sunday, back to colder Monday with a couple of snow flurries into the low to mid-30s and highs near 30, colder teens at night and increasing snow chances, maybe a couple of those to deal with late Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. For Stevie J Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Solgay.
Ladies and gentlemen, one of the finest journalists on the globe. I really think he's outstanding. He is Trey Yinks from Fox News. Live from where are you? Tel Aviv?
Tel Aviv.
Tel Aviv. And you're from Hershey, Pennsylvania. Are you a Pittsburgh fan or Philadelphia Eagle fan?
You know, I grew up a Redskins, now Commanders fan.
Okay.
But in the Super Bowl, you've got to support your state. So go
okay.
Eagles.
So nothing like, oh my gosh, my team has to win. You'll just be watching casually like a lot of people. So gotcha.
Exactly.
All right, Trey. Firstly, I'm going to try and buy an Airbnb in Gaza. What the heck's a reaction to what the president said last night?
Look, there's reaction pouring in from across the Middle East right now in response to President Trump saying the United States is going to take over Gaza. Just to give the listener some context here, the Gaza Strip is about 25 miles long. There are 2 million people that live there, and if you place a map of Gaza over New York City, for example, it would stretch more than the entire length of the city. It's a very big place relative to what many people talk about. This would not be an easy thing to do, to take over Gaza, displace 2 million people, and then ultimately battle the remaining Hamas and Islamic Jihad cells that are currently there. And so it's a big idea from the commander-in-chief, but it has a lot of implications. And those implications are already starting as it relates to the ongoing ceasefire conversations that are taking place in Qatar, and then also as it relates to other countries that President Trump says would take in Palestinians, including Egypt and Jordan. Both of those countries have reiterated their position that it's not going to happen. Now, President Trump believes that he has leverage over Egypt and Jordan and ultimately could make them do that. It's hard to tell if this is all just a negotiating tactic to ultimately get concessions at the table and create a larger peace deal that would include countries like Saudi Arabia, or if the president actually intends to displace all of these Palestinians, move what would require, at some level, U.S. forces into Gaza, and then take the territory.
President Trump has said there's nothing left in Gaza City. Is that true? I mean, can anybody go back at this point anyway?
The level of destruction inside Gaza is catastrophic, no doubt. And the Trump administration is correct in their assessment that the current ceasefire plan to rebuild Gaza is far too short. It is a 3 to 5 year period, and we're looking at something that could take more than a decade because you have to deal with things like unexploded ordinances and water lines and sewer lines. But the president is correct in his description of Gaza with how destroyed it is. There are certainly some buildings standing in Gaza City. We've reported from there a number of times since the war began. But we're talking about a level of destruction that is really hard to even imagine. There are entire neighborhood blocks that are reduced to rubble. There are people living in tents in many parts of Gaza, people that have returned since the ceasefire to their homes in the north to find nothing standing. And so all of these things add to an already complex situation and raise real questions about the future of Gaza, because it's very easy to talk about taking over the Gaza Strip. It's easy to talk about destroying Hamas, but you have to remember, again, there are 2 million civilians that are living there. Hamas still maintains control of Gaza, despite statements made by Israeli officials, and the future of the post-war plan for this conflict is unclear.
What's been the reaction to Trump winning?
The reaction to Trump winning has been very positive for Israel because the Israelis are looking at two things. They're looking at regional security threats from Iranian proxies like the Houthis in Yemen, Hezbollah in Lebanon, Hamas and Islamic Jihad inside Gaza and in the West Bank, and then Iran-backed Iraqi and Syrian Shia militia. That's one agenda item. All of those things bunched into a single item. Then you have the issue of Iran itself, a country that is objectively getting closer to a nuclear weapon. They have reduced their breakout time. They are now enriching uranium closer and closer to weapons-grade material. And that's of concern not just for Israel, but also for the United States, understanding that if Israel came under attack, the U.S. would be involved in response. And we saw this last year when the Iranians launched 2 separate ballistic missile attacks against Israel. It shows that they have the capability to hit the Jewish state. And so if they have the capability to create a nuclear warhead that they could put on a ballistic missile, and they have a very advanced ballistic missile program, this could spell disaster for the region. And so the president today took to Truth Social. He commented on this. He spoke extensively about Iran yesterday, but wanted to make very clear that looking forward, Iran cannot have a nuclear bomb. And in order to do that, he is open to diplomatic solutions, but if diplomacy doesn't work, he is behind the scenes ensuring that Israel has the weapons, specifically the bunker buster bombs, to address this threat.
Yeah, bunker busters would get down to their stuff, wouldn't it, in Iran?
It would. And that's what the Israelis don't have at this point. And it's something that they have wanted for a long time. It was on a laundry list of weapons that they had requested from the Americans, and many were rejected during the Biden administration. And so they're hopeful that this new administration will mean more security for their country, but it certainly could in some cases mean more offensive action.
If you were to put odds on America taking over Gaza, would they be at 1%, Trey? What do you think?
It's tough to tell, because had you asked me this question 48 hours ago, I would have thought you were joking, because this was not something that was even on the table. And look, we've been talking with Qatari officials, we have been talking with Israeli officials, we've been talking with Hamas officials, everyone involved in these conversations. And no one in the course of the conversations that I've had every single day for the past 16 months brought up the idea of the United States taking over Gaza. And so we're truly in uncharted territory. And I can't emphasize enough how difficult this period is now for the negotiating teams, because I spoke this morning with a senior Hamas official who said that any manipulation of the current ceasefire agreement that was signed, that is leading currently to the release of hostages, could lead to the collapse of the entire deal. And so while these statements are made in Washington from President Trump and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, you have to remember there are dozens of living hostages still being held by Hamas inside Gaza. And if they think that the Americans are going to come into Gaza and forcefully displace their people, the Palestinian people, it raises the question of why would they give up the remaining hostages? Their only leverage left in this war.
Boy, there are so many complex sides of this thing, Trey, and you cover it every single day. Do you get tired?
No, I don't get tired. I love this. It's my passion. It's my identity. It's everything.
You wrote the book Black Saturday, an unfiltered account of the October 7th attack on Israel and the war in Gaza. How's that been going?
It's been going really well. And look, Black Saturday is a book like no other. It tells the story of October 7th and the first 2 months of the war from a perspective that shines light on the reality of the war. And we speak not only with Israeli civilians, but with Palestinian civilians, not only with Israeli officials, but also with Hamas officials, with hostages that were taken into Gaza and then later released. And it gives the reader a picture of what this attack looked like, what started this war, and also what the conflict looks like and the people who are experiencing it through their own eyes.
Well, it's, I would not want to play Texas Hold'em with you, Trey. I can't read you. I could never know if you got pocket aces or nothing. You just tell it like it is. It's refreshing. Black Saturday available everywhere, isn't it?
Yep, available everywhere, and New York Times bestseller.
Okay, my friend. Hey, by the way, the Commanders had a great year. They really, really did. Holy cow.
They did.
I mean,
they did, absolutely.
They're going to be good next year. Jaden Daniels, come on, man. He's a rookie.
If only the Wizards could keep up. If only the Wizards
That's
could
right,
keep up.
yeah, right. Trey Yinks, live from Tel Aviv. Thank you for your clear-eyed view of everything and the facts. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You as well. Trey Yingst, Y-I-N-G-S-T.
Chief Foreign Correspondent for Fox News.
Yeah, he's really, really good.
Good to have him here on ESPN 93.5.
Back in just a moment, ESPN 93.5, Illinois plays tonight. We got a little Thomas Lobb to play for you. Tim, talk to me about Gale Forex Trucking. Any news?
A couple of new drivers on board to join the team, and I think I may have one open spot left, maybe two. And we can always buy more trucks if they're good drivers. But it's been a challenge, but everybody has stayed safe, and I appreciate that. We've got a great group of guys.
You know ABC Heating and Air Conditioning is locally owned and operated for over 50 years. And you know they help you with your HVAC issues any time of the day or night. But did you know now through March 31st, you can save up to $500 off a complete Amana heating and air system? That's right. ABC Heating and Air Conditioning is offering a special until the end of March where you can save up to $500 off a complete Amana system. Call Gina at ABC Heating and Air Conditioning for complete details or visit abcheatingandac.com.
Get the roof your home deserves by Roof Doctors, your residential roofing specialist that has always offered the best warranties in the industry, like our non-prorated 50-year warranty. Our customers love that we are family-owned and locally operated. We make our customer needs our top priority. With over 30 years experience and the best customer service, give Roof Doctors a call today for your free estimate at 328-7529. In your community and for your community, Roof Doctors.
PDR Automotive has now been serving the Champaign-Urbana area for over 50 years. To give you some perspective, 50 years ago ended the U.S. involvement in the Vietnam War, and it was when Secretariat won the Triple Crown. So what does that mean for you and your vehicle? Whether you need a carburetor overhauled or your new vehicle computer system diagnosed or programmed, PDR Automotive has the experienced, knowledgeable staff that can handle all your automotive needs. Online at pdrauto.com, they are what's best for your truck or car. They are PDR. Illinois basketball star Morez Johnson on managing partner at Sarah Champagne, Ben Quattrone.
Ben Quattrone is a great guy. He's like an uncle to me now, a great character person. Sarah Champagne is like a family. Talk to the people that work here sometimes, just to talk to them, and they helped me when I got my car deal. It was very helpful. It wasn't like I was like here all day, like I was bonding with people, have a conversation with them. They're there. Oh, I love my car.
Learn more at sarahchampagne.com. That's SERRA Champagne.com. All right, Illinois Rutgers tonight. Tomislav Isavic slept 16 hours a day recovering from mono.
That was the only thing I could do, eat and sleep, recover faster. And that was it. If I could do something else, I would.
How do you feel now?
I feel now normal.
He feels normal. He's 90%, he said. By the way, doing an interview with basketballs around, generally not good.
Why not just hop into the hallway when you're tapped by a journalist with a microphone?
Well, he stands over there and all of them surround him.
I understand.
It might not be room in the hallway.
Can we just go
somewhere
on the other side of the door?
Donk. The balls really come in clear.
Because it's more of a base and we're attracted to that. It drives me crazy. And, it makes me want to come up with some kind of little phone booth apparatus so that when people are interviewing that they're deadening all the natural sound around you.
How big you need it, though.
And you could just unfold it very quickly. And I don't know.
Illinois tonight, 7:30. Rutgers were 6.5-point favorites. So
yes. Yep. So go Illini. I was just typing in Fletch, University of Illinois strength coach. Adam Fletcher has come up now.
Fletcher.
So now we know.
He sat with Tomislav for the whole time. He said he was getting fluids in him, helping him gain his weight back, and was amazing. He said, without Fletch, I would be out for 2 more weeks. That's incredible.
So awesome job. We have the women in action tomorrow against Northwestern at 6 o'clock. That's at the State Farm Center. Purdue beating Iowa. UCLA taking down number 9 Michigan State yesterday. Number 21 Wisconsin over Indiana. Minnesota over Penn State, and Northwestern over USC yesterday. Plus, we had number 12 St. John's over number 11 Marquette, 70-64. Tonight, other games besides us in Piscataway, New Jersey against Rutgers will be Nebraska and Washington, and Oregon is at number 24 Michigan.
All right, boots. Hot stuff. One place to get them. Pards.
At Pards in Urbana, the boots just keep on coming. They're known for their huge collection of men's cowboy boots, women's cowgirl boots, kids' boots, and even shoes. If you're searching for top footwear brands, look no further than Pards. They carry a wide variety, including Ariat, Dan Post, Smoky Mountain, Roper, Double H, and more. And if socks or accessories are what you need, they've got all your high-quality essentials. Since 1968, Pards has been serving their customers with high-quality merchandise. And if you haven't been to Pards in a while, a lot has changed. Go check them out just off University Avenue in Urbana.
Tim, talk to me about Gale Forex Trucking. Any news?
A couple of new drivers on board that joined the team, and I think I may have one open spot left, maybe two. And we can always buy more trucks if they're good drivers. But it's been a challenge, but everybody has stayed safe, and I appreciate that. We've got a great group of guys that know that they have to safely service the customers, and they're doing that.
Describe the kind of driver you would love to hire.
Somebody that wants to work, knows the importance of being on time and servicing the customer, but also enjoys their quality home time with their family. It's difficult for truck drivers that are stuck out on the road for weeks at a time, so we just don't do that to them. We want them to have that quality time, rest their brain, rest their body, be with their family. That's real important to us.
How can people reach Tim Onstock?
They can get me at TIMO@GFTLOG.com.
Are you sitting too much? University of Illinois College of Applied Health Sciences PNC Lab is recruiting men and women between 40 and 75 years old with no history of cardiovascular disease to participate in the HIT to Sit Less study. Exercise on a stationary bike for 6 minutes in 30-minute intervals. 3 sessions will be conducted with compensation up to $280. For details, call 217-333-0581 or email pnc-lab@illinois.edu.
Want unbeatable prices on your next furniture purchase, but also seeking that local hometown feel? Look no further than Kelsey Furniture in Tuscola. Customers rave about their friendly, established staff, as well as their great selection, amazing prices, and second-to-none delivery service. They're a third-generation local business, and they've always got your best interests at heart. Find the look you love for less. Open 9 to 5 Monday through Saturday, but always available online at kelseyfurniture.com. That's kelseyfurniture.com.
Hi, this is Troy Lands from Lands Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. With colder temperatures here, let's make sure your heating system is operating at its best. At Lands, you can join our comfort family and get exclusive savings and support to keep your heating system in tip-top shape this winter and all year round. Our plans offer tune-ups, discounts on repair, and even lifetime system enhancements. Plus, we back up our equipment with labor warranty when we install it. Find out more about our comfort family maintenance plans at landsinc.com. I'm Troy Lands, and you can count on my company because you can count on me.
Yeah, kind of keeping our eyes on this weather forecast
with the freezing rain.
Yeah, so
I know
it's all when this stuff. It just matter when, right?
Hello again, everyone. Let's check weather for East Central Illinois, Champaign, and Memphis. Saturday, busy weather pattern shaping up for openers over the next 5 to 10 days, including freezing rain issues and a winter weather advisory for the day today. Some freezing mist and freezing drizzle will get going as the morning wears on. Some freezing rain and rain this afternoon. 32 to 35 on temperatures. Gusty east winds will diminish and turn southwest later tonight, with again some rain at times in the overnight, maybe a thunderstorm, and some mixed freezing rain as well in spots this evening. 32 to 35 and rising temperatures to a partly sunny west wind and 46-degree high tomorrow. 38 with increasing clouds, some rain late in the day on Friday, then another spell of freezing rain for Friday night, early Saturday morning. More rain to follow. Temperatures pop back into the 40s on Saturday, 36 on Sunday, then back into colder weather early next week with a couple of snow flurries on Monday, and some snow chances increase late Tuesday, Wednesday next week. We settle back to barely above 30 by day and teens at night. Colder weather ahead for early next week. For Steve AJ Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Soldier.
Yeah, we're talking about teens waking up next week, and then he said there's a little snow in there. But look at it this way: week from Friday's Valentine's Day.
Yes, it is.
That's officially 14th is halfway through February.
Yeah, that's right.
So we are getting there.
We're
people.
on our way.
We are getting there. We just got Christmas partially taken down. We went on that trip. Came home. Nathaniel and Allison had the baby, and we got sick.
Plus, we had so much cold weather. A lot of people were dragging their feet on things like that, too.
So I like it. I'm putting it back up in 9 months. So, hey.
Campus Middle School for Girls has their open house at 108 South Weber in Urbana. What a great environment. An all-girls middle school in the state of Illinois. And Campus Middle School for Girls has their open house between 7 and 8:30 tonight. And if you need more details, campusms.org.
Yep.
I just think of that chapter of life. It's so awkward when you're in junior high.
Oof.
And to be surrounded by girls, would be more uplifting to me.
Well, they can be mean girls now.
You're right.
I mean, the girls are,
Yeah, they can be.
I know when we were in middle school in Champaign, public schools, there were more girl fights than boy fights.
You're right.
What's up with that?
I remember DJing some of those.
I mean, it's like, what girls, what are you doing here? What's happening?
Let's do girl power. Come together.
But awkward is the word. 6, 7, 8, what the heck?
I'm telling you,
and
those years,
you're scared
I would never repeat that chapter.
A little scared half the time.
I know.
Right?
So to focus on academics, extracurricular activities, and there's financial aid options too as you walk through the Campus Middle School for Girls campus and learn more about it.
All right, we'll try and keep up with the news. Donald Trump is moving at such a speed. I mean, it feels like 4 months ago he was inaugurated.
I know.
It's been 17 days.
Wow.
Is that right?
Man.
Yeah, January 20.
I guess.
And it's February 5. It's just not, it's like 15 days, 17
Crazy.
days. It's quite amazing, the amount of activity. I mean, and the press for Benjamin Netanyahu and Donald Trump yesterday, it was just, the room was overflowing, and some woman was talking to the president, and he said, I'm sorry, I don't understand what you're saying.
Okay.
But he said, you have a beautiful voice and a beautiful accent. I just don't understand it.
Okay.
And then he said something like, very kind. It was actually very kind.
Right.
He just couldn't understand her. So anyway, I mean, there are stuff like that does occur with the foreign press.
Yes.
And it is awkward because you're trying to really understand it. Mm-hmm. And I guess you could turn to somebody and say, what'd they say?
Right.
Because it's just a thick accent.
Right. And English as a second language.
I mean, we were in Scotland once, and it was at St. Andrews, and the cab driver, David, I don't take all that. It was that Cockney.
And they're speaking English.
No, kind of. But I couldn't understand. It was just so awkward because we're going off that. Over there.
When I went down to Southwest Louisiana, it was hard with the Cajun accent.
The Cajun's
too.
the same thing.
I took a swamp tour and I listened to the Captain Boudreaux, and I'm like, what?
You couldn't understand Cajun, huh? All right, listen, we'll gather tomorrow. John Decker will be up tomorrow. Great Television's White House correspondent, and other great things like Did You Know with Nathaniel Son.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Diane.
Enjoy the day.
That's Diane Ducey. I'm Stevie J. Meet you tomorrow, and thank you for listening. Have a safe and great Wednesday.
The big game is here, and it's time to elevate your game with Circus Sports Illinois. Circus Sports Illinois isn't just sports betting. It's like sports betting the way it should be. We're talking high betting limits, tight money splits, and exceptional customer service that treats you like a VIP. The big game requires a big betting menu, and Circus Sports Illinois has you covered. From player props to game scenarios, Circus Sports has it all, including the fan favorite Circus Squares menu. Download the Circus Sports Illinois app or visit circusports.com. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
When you make the right decision, it feels good, like picking the perfect accent rug or choosing a good night's sleep over an all-night crime show binge. It feels really good to make the right insurance decision, too. That's why State Farm agent Kurt Lenschow is right here in Champaign-Urbana to help you select the right protection at the right price. Kurt will make sure you understand your State Farm coverages so you'll know what to expect if the unexpected happens. Just call him when you want the real deal. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
What is most important to you in your life? This is Eric Boland with Provident Financial Group. Whether you're launching a career, raising a family, planning for retirement, or creating a legacy, we can help. At Provident, we provide strategic thinking and perspective that help clients like you realize their goals. Contact us today at 217-366-3456 or find us online at providentfinancialgroupllc.com.
Securities and advisory services offered through Commonwealth Financial Network. Member FINRA SIPC, a registered investment advisor.
From computer systems to brakes and tires too, at PDR, fixing cars is what they do. Remember, when you turn the key and the car won't run, call 367-9481 or use their dedicated text-only line at 383-0619. Additional information including repair quotes and online scheduling requests available from the website at pdrauto.com. Remember, they are what's best for your truck or car. They are PDR.
Are you tired of shivering in the winter? Look no further than your local heroes at ABC Heating and Air Conditioning. Hi, this is Gina inviting you to give us a call at 217-352-5400 to book your appointment to make sure your furnace is run safely and efficiently this winter. We've been proudly locally owned and operated and have been serving our community for over 50 years. ABC, always be comfortable. Call me 217-352-5400 to book your appointment today or go to abcheatingandac.com.
Our friendly sales team help you find just the right appliance, just the right price.
I'm Paul Reekin, and you know my dad, Dennis, for the famous
Wow.
Yeah, that's the one. That
Wow
is a Central Illinois tradition, decades in the making. It's our award-winning staff that puts the
Wow
in Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. We have in-house service, in-house appliance installation, a knowledgeable sales staff that will make sure you get the guaranteed best deal on your next appliance purchase. Oh, and let's not forget, a jingle that's been around for decades. Just like the quality service we provide. I'll make sure it's
Pia's 1609 West Springfield Avenue in Champaign. Enjoy drink specials from Coors and Miller Lite, Twisted Tea, Captain Morgan, and Bullet Rye Bourbon. As we say, go Illini. Great drink specials, terrific pub food like the Slugger Burger, chicken fingers, loaded nachos, and fish on Fridays. Pia's will have a fan bus to watch the Illini. It leaves a half hour before tip-off. As you head to the State Farm Center, get dropped off and picked up in the Front Circle Drive off 1st Street. Pia's 1609 West Springfield Avenue in Champaign.
Mom. Freedom for kids, control for parents. That's family banking from Chase.
Account subject to approval. Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply.
You're
JPMorgan Chase
listening
Bank
to
NA.
WSJK ESPN 93.5 Tuscola, Champaign-Urbana, your home for the St. Louis Cardinals.